Picture this: the mighty Penrith Panthers, kings of 4 straight premierships, storming into the preliminary final with history in their sights, only to watch it slip away in a heart-wrenching second half collapse against the Broncos. One moment they were dominating, the next a brutal fade out. And then Nathan Cleary drops a blunt bombshell that has everyone questioning everything. Hit subscribe now and turn on notifications for all sports updates. We're your go-to for the West Mill drama. The dust has barely settled on Penrith's devastating 16-14 preliminary final loss to Brisbane, where a commanding lead evaporated like mist under Suncorp's lights. The Panthers, chasing an unprecedented 5th consecutive title, looked unbreakable early, punching in 14 unanswered points, silencing the roaring Broncos crowd. But then came the fade. Fatigue crept in, errors piled up, and Brisbane clawed back with ruthless precision. Adam Reynolds' sideline conversion sealed the Dynasty's pause, leaving Nathan Cleary staring at the turf, ruining a missed 2-point field goal attempt. Post-match, Coach Evan Cleary faced the inevitable Dynasty question head-on, his frustration palpable. Asked if the era was over, he fired back with a defiant "what's over?" a blunt admission that while this season stung, the fire still burns. Nathan echoed the sentiment, admitting the result hurt deeply but refusing to label at the end. He highlighted the young brigade's growth amid departures like Jerome Louis and James Fisher-Harris, praising their fight despite the brutal second-half drop-off from rock bottom earlier in 2025. Sitting last after a horror start, the Panthers climbed to 7th, defying odds with epic finals wins over Warriors and Bulldogs. Evan's mid-season rocket, blasting the squad after a night's thrashing, reignited their grit, turning whispers of collapse into a finals charge. Yet the fade-out exposed cracks, defensive lapses, key injuries like Scott Sorensen's early exit, and the weight of expectation. Nathan's raw honesty shone through, owning missed opportunities while crediting Brisbane's comeback. This loss isn't just a defeat, it's a pivot point, fueling off-season hunger. Fans debate, was it exhaustion from four-peat glory, or the dawn of transition? Evan's admission that they simply weren't good enough on the night cuts deep, but his belief in untapped potential sparks hope. As the sporting world dissects the fade, one thing's clear: the Clearys aren't done writing history. Stay tuned to all sports updates for every explosive moment, because the game never sleeps. Diving deeper into that brutal fade-out, the Panthers' second-half meltdown wasn't random. It was a perfect storm of momentum shifts and unforced wounds. Leading 14-0, Penrith controlled territory, but Sorensen's concussion ruling gutted their bench, forcing 13 men into scorching heat for most of the game. Evan called it a huge call, standing firm against complaints, while admitting the toll was massive. Nathan, orchestrating early brilliance, later reflected on split-second regrets, like opting against the two-pointer that could have tied it. His blunt reply to Dynasty doubters mirrored his dad's. Pain now, but more to come. The season's arc tells a redemption tale from a 1-5 start, leaking points everywhere. Ivan demanded a return to defensive roots. Young guns like Blaze Talaji and Casey McLean stepped up, gaining priceless experience amid the chaos. Yet the fade highlighted lingering issues: post-origin fatigue, roster holes from big exits, and Brisbane's relentless pressure on Cleary's kicks. Replaced showman's hits rattling Nathan, forcing errors that slung possession. Evan's post-game admission that fatigue hit hard underscored the human element behind the machine. No panic from the Clearys, though. Nathan praised Hayes' Herculean effort, showing class amid heartbreak. This brutal collapse echoes past near misses turned triumphs, reminding us Penrith thrives on adversity. Off-season questions swirl, bolster the pack, refine late-game composure. Evan's defiance signals reload, not rebuild. Nathan's growth as leader shines, balancing humility with hunger. The fade-out stings because expectations were sky-high, but it humanizes the gents. As Brisbane advances, Penrith heads home plotting revenge because dynasties don't die quietly. The null world's shockwaves from Penrith's fade-out stem from one undeniable truth. No team had dominated like this since St. George in the 60s. 4 straight flags, then a preliminary exit brutal, unexpected, yet laced with Cleary grit. Nathan's post-match words cut sharp, disappointment raw, but no surrender. He admitted the second half drop-off hurt most, watching leads vanish as energy waned. Evan backed him, bluntly rejecting Dynasty death knells with that iconic "what's over's" retort, eyes blazing. Early dominance fooled Menazorenson's loss flipped the script, exposing depth strains. Yet positives abound. Climbing from ladder bottom to finals force showcased resilience. Evan's mid-year blast saved the season, forging steel in young players thrust into spotlight. Nathan lauded their efforts, noting invaluable lessons from high-stakes battles. The fade wasn't collapse, but exhaustion. Choosing history takes toll. Brisbane capitalized masterfully. Reynolds cool under fire. Cleary's replies reveal character. Owning shortcomings while eyeing future. Nathan rued personal chances, vowing sharper execution. This loss unites the squad, fueling mad motivation. Fans split some see end of era. Others rebirth spark. Evan's admission of not being quite good enough that night fuels honesty, rare in defeat. Broader impact, it humbles the unbeatable, thrilling rivals while inspiring underdogs. Penrith's system endures score locked long-term youth rising. As off-season looms, Cleary's plot returns stronger, turning fade into fuel. Reflecting on Penrith's heartbreaking exit, the brutal fade-out becomes a defining chapter in an epic saga. From pre-season Vegas triumph to mid-year abyss, then finals resurrection only for Suncorp to deliver the cruel twist. Nathan Cleary's blunt reflections capture the essence. Pride in the fight, agony in the fall. Evan's admission that more exists in this group ignites belief amid despair. The second half unraveling exposed vulnerabilities, injuries biting, experience gaps showing, pressure mounting. Yet, it showcased growth youngsters battling bans, earning stripes. Nathan's leadership evolved, guiding through storms. Evan's defiance rejects obituaries, promising evolution. This isn't closure, but catalyst. Dynasty paused, not perished. Cleary's raw honesty endears them, blending vulnerability with steel. The fade stings eternally, but legends rise from such ashes. As Null shifts to grand final fever, Penrith watches, plotting dominance anew. History awaits their response. All Sports Update is bringing you the heart, heat, and headlines of every epic showdown.